So after that short 2-week break that actually felt like a year, we are back in the F1 world for the Belgian Grand Prix. I think this track needs no introduction. This track is what you would call a hood classic, since you could go to any decade of Formula 1 and it is very likely that there were at least 2 super great races that were held here. I mean, this track just has everything from the super flowy corners that either go into long straights or technical corners. Great racing is always guaranteed here. So imagine everyone's reaction when Führer Sulayem and his number 2 Stefano Domenicali say they want to cycle this track out of the calendar for another shitty street track. We have to do something about these guys soon. But you know, we kinda have to be real. They may have a point. Yes, this track is Formula 1 legacy, but in recent years, this track has been a certified snoozer. The only good race recently was last year, but even before then, there was really nothing for many years. However, what made last year's race good was a tight grid that was present, and with many top teams bringing upgrades this week, potentially closing the gap to McLaren, not to mention the super tight midfield we have currently, I think this race can be good, I don't know. And when the races are good here, they are great. Like I said, last year we had many great overtakes in action. 2019 had Albon cutting up through the field for his first race with Red Bull. Wonder how that went. 2018 had whatever turn 1 was. And if you thought that one was crazy, 2012 was a blueprint for 2018's turn 1. So let us hope that this race weekend is good and packed with action. And what better way to see how it could go by seeing any potential upgrades coming for the teams, the drama and stories from the weekend prior, the ones to keep an eye on for, and of course, my weekend predictions that I always get right with my brilliant mind. So go subscribe if you're new if you like Belgian waffles, and here is the 2025 Belgian weekend preview.
See those clouds up in the corner? That's where the rain is coming from.
As always, we got the upgrades first, and with this race being so close to the summer break, you would think teams would wait, but no. During the summer break, all development is stopped since, you know, wouldn't be much of a break otherwise, so teams want to fast track their upgrades here or in Hungary just so they don't have to live with the anxiety of not knowing how they're going to be. Plus, the second half of the season always goes faster than the first, but do not trust my words since this is stuff I hear from the grapevine, so sorry if I'm not totally accurate. Anyways, let us begin with the worst team on the grid now and forever until I say otherwise. Alpine. Alpine are the worst bad team on the grid, if that makes sense. You know it's bad when you're being outdeveloped by Sauber. I mean, what went wrong, man? Save yourself, Pierre, please. The team needs to find performance ASAP since they cannot continue on like this and they know it, so I'm only putting them here out of desperation, not because I know that they're bringing upgrades. Next up is Haas, who brought upgrades last time out in Britain, but it clearly did very little, so either in Spa or Hungary, if not both, upgrades will be brought since just 2 or 3 weeks ago, these guys were in 6th in the standings but have quickly fell down to 9th. It's a big shame too, since Esteban and Ollie have been doing really well so far, same with their strategy team. Really, everything has been great about the team so far except for the car's performance, which obviously needs to be fixed very soon. And I got more bad news, folks. If history is anything to go by, these next 2 races will not be good given prior year struggles, so all the best to them this week, they're gonna need it. Next up is Racing Bulls, who are also in desperate need to find performance. When I say performance, by the way, I mean consistency, since their car isn't as bad as Haas, rather, it's everywhere else that is struggling. So to make up for that shortcoming, they need a quick car, which they have, but it's not consistent at all. Their performance this year has been all over the place, and they need to figure that out ASAP. And with a new team principal this week, it may look a bit sketchy for a while, I'm not gonna lie. Now for the top dogs, and we got all of them, so let us begin with Red Bull. New team principal, demotivated drivers, bad car. Oh yeah, these lot are cooked, but it doesn't have to be for long. I would imagine the rest of the year's upgrades will all be from the Horner regime, so we won't see what Mekis is made of until late this year the earliest, or 2027 the latest. But we can see how good of a leader he is, which could be monumental for them, so depending if these last few upgrades for Red Bull are good or not, could maybe determine how good of a job Mekis can do for the team. So pray that these upgrades are good, because Lord knows they have to be. Next up is Mercedes, who are really struggling as of late. After the high of Canada, where the team got a double podium plus win, the team has been struggling so much, it's almost sad. Strategy errors are to blame, yes, but their car has been looking very slow recently as well, and it's making them slip back to where they were for most of 2024. So these next upgrades at Spa and Hungary are less huge packages, but more of a stabilizing package to get the team back up to where they were. Then they can start hunting again. Speaking of needing to hunt again, Ferrari, who boy oh boy, they need something quick. Judging from all the rumors lately, you would think that this package is the piece of the puzzle we need to be contenders with McLaren, but I don't buy it. Maybe it's just me being pessimistic given how they've been this year, but I can already sense that something is going to go wrong. My mind is saying that Charles is going to start really struggling in that car thanks to the package being suited for Lewis's struggles, similar to the years with Sainz, so Lewis better make up for that deficit. Or maybe the package is really good. I don't know, man. I don't care. I just want something good to happen for once, man. Please. Finally, we have McLaren. They tested a new floor in Silverstone during the practices, and after refinements, they plan to bring it here in full. Nothing more to say. This is probably going to give him like 3 more tenths in that car minimum. Now for the drama of the week, and we first up have the news of ground effects being removed from the cars from 2026 and onwards. So it was announced a couple days ago that the new gen of cars for 2026 will not have ground effect tunnels anymore, instead opting to go back to the floor designs from 2017 to 2021. Now while everyone is celebrating this like it's the end of World War II, I'm not, because guys, do we all have amnesia or something? Why are we pretending that the cars were so good back then? The only people celebrating this are Mercedes fans who, coincidentally enough, are probably the reason why these regs failed in the first place. It's thanks to Mercedes that everyone had to raise the ride heights on the car, which again, coincidentally enough, led to the racing quality in 2022 being worsened. Because Mercedes couldn't stop their car from bouncing, everyone had to suffer, and if Merc are gonna be good again next year thanks to the old floors coming back, maybe Mafia was true all along. Real talk though, I'm expecting absolutely nothing to change in terms of racing quality since 90% of the races from 2017 to 2021 were just fine really, and it's a big shame we're gonna be regressing back in the car's designs instead of trying to find a workaround again. Next up, I have the news with Cadillac and the updates regarding their drivers. So F1's Fabrizio Romano tweeted a couple days ago that Checo moving to Caddy is all but confirmed now. Now, I have made it very clear how much of a Checo fan I am, so I am thrilled about this move. However, the hate has already started again. People are calling him a paid driver who needs to stay away, and even some very racist comments, and it's like, how many times do I have to tell you people? You cannot hate on Checo and then go and stand by drivers like Daniel Ricciardo. Your guy got paid big bucks to leave the grid for a better talent not once, but twice in the span of 2 years. You should not be talking, man. Plus, if we are saying how we were too harsh on Yuki and Liam and it's just the car that is bad, why are you then saying Checo was just ass in the car? Plus, on average, my guy was still finishing like P7 or P8 while Yuki cannot score a P10 for the life of him. Same with Liam. And I don't want to hear none of that he has less experience BS. Yes, he does, but he still has lots of experience. He has been here since 2021 for crying out loud. He is not a rookie anymore. I don't want to say too much, but I feel like it's more than just hate for his driving for some of you guys, but I'll refrain from that talk. Finally, I have the next Ferrari Civil War. So there were talks the other day about which driver the team should prioritize since it still seems that Sainz lingers in the team. Charles likes the car one way, Lewis the other, and then there were arguments about where the car should go, and it's like, guys, like, please lock the fuck in. If you think everything wrong with Ferrari competitively is the car itself, then please don't speak on my team. For all I care, the car can be suited all the way for Charles and it could be a rocket ship, but he will not win a title. Same thing with Lewis. The issue stems so deep in the team that even if every team left the grid except for Ferrari, we would still lose the championship. So why are we debating drivers when in reality, it doesn't really matter since there are bigger issues at play? My verdict though is prioritize Charles since he is not in his 40s and deserves it way more than Lewis due to his loyalty since 2019. Now for the ones to watch, and I of course have Ferrari. Can you tell I'm anxious about them this week? If their upgrade package is to live up to the rumors, then at the very least, we can distance ourselves somewhat from Merc and Red Bull and maybe start pushing McLaren, but at the worst, nothing will change and we suffer for many years to come. Please pray for us, I'm begging you. Alright morons, time for what you skipped here for predictions for the Belgian weekend. As always, must be stated that we'll predict 3 things: the top 5 in the quali, the top 5 in the race, and a random prediction from any session. It should also be noted that these predictions are based on nothing but pure vibes, so bear with me. We have sprints this weekend, so let us begin with the sprint pole winner, who I think will be Oscar Piastri, who also goes on to win the sprint race. Now for the main event with qualifying, and I predict that the top 5 on Saturday, starting with 5th, will be Max Verstappen, and 4th will be Lewis Hamilton, and 3rd will be Lando Norris, and 2nd will be Charles Leclerc, and for pole position I have Oscar Piastri by 1/10 of a second. Now for the race predictions, and starting with 5th I have Max Verstappen, and 4th I have Lewis Hamilton, and 3rd I have Charles Leclerc, and 2nd I have Lando Norris, and the winner of the Belgian Grand Prix is Oscar Piastri, who just dominates this weekend from start to finish. Time for my random prediction, and I think in the race, there will be a safety car due to a lap 1 crash between George Russell and Fernando Alonso. Also, make sure to join the Discord to make your predictions for the weekend and have a chance to appear in the winners and losers. And that was my weekend preview for the Belgian Grand Prix. I hope this race is good aside from how Ferrari performs, so I'm holding on to hope. But this weekend and next could be very telling for how this season ends up, so I say we should be just fine. But let's be real, it's still going to be McLaren winning everything, so choose which 7 out of 10 driver you want to support for the title. Oops, I didn't say that though. Anyways, I want to give a quick shout out to all members of the flock for their continued support, and make sure you join if you want cool benefits as well as just helping me out. Anyways, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe since it really helps me out. Make sure to let me know in the comments what your predictions are. And as always, have an amazing day.